All right, so this is going to be your quick review or your teach on how do I take a graph and choose which linear equation matches. And so what we're going to do is a couple of steps. Step one is we need to make a table. So step one, we want to make a table, an input-output table. And when we make an input-output table, what I mean by that is we want to make a table with some perfect points that say x and y. So Monday we spent time making these tables. So again, just reviewing, we're looking for those perfect points of where we know the exact x and y value. So really we're looking for 3 points. That's it. All right, so the first point that I see that I marked here, I'm going to say that this right here is my first point, is going to be -5 on the x and then +4 on the y. My second point, which is right here, is 0 on the x because I don't move up or left or right, and then 3 on the y. And then my last point is going to be right here that I see, and this would be 5 on the x, positive, and then +2 on the y. So that's step one. Okay, now at this point, the good news is that we are going to work 100% with this information. We are done with the graph. We really don't need the graph anymore. Because remember, this is just another representation of this. These are actually interchangeable. They're still the same data, it's just we're presenting it differently. So step two now is that we're going to substitute, okay, x values. So we spent all last week looking at tables and substituting. So remember, we call the x the input and y is my output. So basically, again, we're saying if I substitute in a -5 into one of these three equations, which one is going to give me an output of +4? So let's look at the numbers. Now, we could start with -5. We could start with 0. We could start with 5. Right? Any of these x values are a possibility here that I can plug in. Remember, and then anytime I plug in the x, I want the corresponding or the matching y value. Now, for me personally, I'm going to start with 0 because that's an easy number to multiply by. I don't want to work with negatives. I don't want to have to multiply by 5. It's not a bad number, but either one is an okay number to multiply. But 0 is easy. So if you have a 0, use the 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 into these equations. So for example, y equals 0.2 times 0 minus 2. Okay. So when I multiply 0.2 times 0, well, anything times 0 is going to give me 0. And then 0 minus 2 is equal to -2. So since it's not 3, that cannot be my equation. So let's look at the second one. So I have y equals 0.2. Again, I'm going to plug in the 0. And 0.2 times 0 is going to give me 0. Again, not +3, so not what I'm looking for. All right, let's check the last one. Now, by process of elimination, we have confirmed that this one, but let's double check the work. 0.2 times 0. Remember, I'm substituting an input to see if it gives me an output, plus 3. So I get y is equal to, well, 0.2 times 0 is 0 plus 3, which is 3. I do have a match, so I have my equation. So let's review our steps one more time. So step one, take the graph, make the table. Make sure you're using perfect points. You need 3 points on the graph, just to confirm. Then, step two, we're going to substitute the x values into these equations to see if it gives me an output of a y value. And once you have a matching table and then the rule works, then you have your equation. Okay, so today you have a review practice over matching linear equations to your graph. If you have questions, please let your teacher know, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks, guys.